We're going all electric!
So many people are like, it's stupid, don't do it. So we got a 10 kilowatt Thunderstruck motor. Just run 4 of those in parallel to have a 400 amp hour battery bank. Wig wag. She's watched me spend countless hours just reading stuff and getting stupider. We got a secret, you guys.
We've been harboring the secret from you guys.
Harboring.
Is that not the right word?
That's funny.
All right, start over then.
No, that was great. We got a secret.
Okay.
You know what our secret is?
Yeah.
What is it?
Do you guys want to know our secret?
Bzz.
We're going all electric! Woo! That's right. We're taking out our diesel engine and we are going all electric. We've already bought the motor and everything. It's set in stone. It's done.
We're sitting on it. It's like all up underneath us. It's like 2 foot by maybe 4 foot long by a foot tall. Like, and that's the whole setup. That's everything that you need. So this is all the stuff that we had to consider going all electric. Like the motor that we were going to use, and permanent magnets, and brushless, and 48 volts, or 72 volts, 96 volts. You know, like there's so much stuff going on with all this. And so many people are like, it's stupid, don't do it. And then there's some people that's like, I love it, you know, because there's just, there's so many different options, and you can choose the wrong options and be upset with what you got and spend a lot of money on it. So that's dangerous. We got a 10 kilowatt Thunderstruck motor, and it was, I think it was like $3,800 for the entire kit, or $3,800 for the entire kit. We have pretty much everything that you can get with the little guy, the full get up, the little wig wag thing, all that stuff. Wig wag. But and then the batteries we got, we went with these ones because I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos doing research and stuff, and I'd seen some people tear into these batteries. It was the Ography batteries. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but it's OGRPHY. And it's 48 volts. So we didn't have to run no crazy series stuff. And we can just run 4 of those in parallel to have a 400 amp hour battery bank. But with the 100 amp hour battery bank, with our boat being around 15,000 pounds, 100 amp hours should get us around, I think it was like, you know, just in the ballpark of like 26 hours of motoring just off of the battery, bringing it down to like 90% at like 2.4 knots, you know, just in the general ballpark. The biggest headache is the real estate for your solar panels, is getting the 48 volts of electricity to charge a 48 volt battery on a small sailboat, which is kind of a lot. It's a lot. Like, she's watched me spend countless hours just reading stuff and getting stupider. So we got to get a buck converter. We have to get a buck converter. Wait. We have to get a buck converter. We have to get a buck converter.
Okay, now who's wasting time?
We have to get a buck converter.
We have to get
a buck converter so that we can step down the 48 volts to 12 volts, so we can run all of the running lights on the boat, and like the refrigerator and the TV and stuff. Maybe even a 24 volt one, so it'll be a little more efficient for the refrigerator.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the pros and cons. We'll start with the pros. Although it is a higher initial cost, usually for an all-electric setup, in the long run, it's actually more affordable because any of the boat parts that break, they're all really expensive for the diesel engine, but an electric engine, all the parts are going to be really cheap.
It's not necessarily that they're really cheap, but they're small and it's so easy to work on. Like, she could work on this.
Well,
like, and she she could just read a little book and like work. It ain't like a diesel engine having to crawl down in there and like do all this crazy stuff. So we'll be getting rid of a lot of tools and lightening up the boat on that front. And we got one of these massive diesel tanks out of here, and we're going to keep the other one for our heater that we have, our diesel heater, and just, to have, because you never know. It might come in handy to have 40 gallons of diesel in the middle of nowhere. So, as long as the boat is going, I think it was around 5 to 6 knots, we should be able to put back anywhere from, I think, 1 to 5 amps of power at 48 volts back into the battery, depending on the size of the prop and stuff. And we got a big old 3-bladed prop, and the motor was way overpowered for this boat. So, it had a 50 horsepower engine in it, and you couldn't even go full throttle because it was just pure madness. It would start to cavitate, and it had a 2-to-1 ratio, or actually it's like a 1.67 to 2 or whatever. Either way, but it was, they had brought it down, and it still was too much. Oh yeah, the Regen. So the Regen, so if there's plenty of wind, we can be sailing, or if we're anchored like in this St. Augustine inlet over here, or close to like the Ponce or something like that, where the or Matanzas Inlet, where the water just rips through there at like 7-8 knots. You can just be sitting there on your anchor making tons of electricity, just power banking it in during storms and rain when there's no sun or, wind or whatever.
Yeah, so the Regen will recharge the batteries when we're sailing and when the boat's moving. So that's a pro. Unless, we get in some kind of crazy hurry and trying to go like 10 knots, we're not really going to run out of power as long as we keep a 2-3 knot pace. And actually, I'm pretty sure I could crank up the generator and run off of gas, and it's like a gallon. We'll run the generator for like 5 hours, I think, and charge the batteries up off of 1 gallon of gas at 10 amps. So as long as we're using just 5 amps to power on, and which I forget the wattage that equates to, but that's probably around like 400 watts or something like that, which would actually probably put us at like almost 2 knots or 1.8. Anyway, we could sustainably go forward with, and that's in calm conditions too. So if there was a storm or something, you're going to have to just sit there and wait. So, I mean, there is some cons to it. Yeah, we will get into the cons as well.
But as long as you're not in a big hurry, there's more pros than cons, definitely. That's another thing about the pros of it, is the redundancies. You can have a lot more redundancies and a lot less work, less physically demanding and knowledge involved to do it. The most knowledge is really like Ohm's law, like your wattage and knowing not to play with electricity over 48 volts. That's another reason we went with the 48 volts instead of the 72 or the 96, is the price, and those types of electricity just grab a hold of you and they don't let go. Like they grab you and then that's it. Anything really under 50, like I think at 59 volts, like 60 volts is where it becomes dangerous. And really 48 volts is kind of dangerous, but it's not going to just kill you by touching it. Some of the negatives of this would be like in calm conditions, if you had a small battery bank, you would only have like a 15, maybe 20 mile range with like a 40 foot or smaller boat, depending on how wide it is, and aerodynamic in the water. And the initial price, just buying everything, the lithium batteries are kind of expensive, but they've came way down, And we got that whole new what was it called? We were reading about they hold like 4 times the juice or 3 times the juice and half the weight. So when you compare that to lead acid, that's like way crazy small, So the technology with the batteries and the solar panels and stuff is getting a lot better. And if we jump on the bandwagon and give them some money, they'll research into other stuff and come out with some crazier technology in the future for our children's children, hopefully. So our journey of this whole thing is we're gonna try to shoot for near zero emissions. The ultimate end goal is to not have to have the fuel. Wouldn't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the most important things that we considered when we decided to go all electric is the ability to make it to our next destination with enough power. And because that's the main thing people are worried about getting these electric sailboats, is that they're not going to be able to make it to their intended destination with the charge that they have. So what we've done to try to prevent that is, and what we're doing, because we still have some steps to take, is we would sail most of the time. And when we're sailing, that would hopefully recharge the batteries. We would have the solar power, the solar panels, and the wind turbines to produce energy and electricity. And the way to do that is to kind of wait and make sure that you get a good sunny day or a good windy day. On some of the calm days, you are going to have to be more patient than regular people who have the diesel engines. But you could also say that we don't have to go and find our next gas station either, next place to fill up. So that's a pro and a con. But I guess the main thing is getting to where we need to go, and that would be the solar panels, the wind turbines, and we would turn on the generator and use that to power our batteries if we needed to. So we need to have enough solar power and enough wind power, enough power in general to make it to our next destination. So that's going to be the main concern for us, to make sure we have enough solar panels, to make sure we have enough batteries to hold the amount of energy that we need to power the boat, and just to ensure that we make it to our next destination with plenty of electricity and power, or at least the backup generator in case of emergencies.
You should tell them about that buck boost converter. I think it was by Regen. Well, you can flip it up there on the screen or whatever. But that thing is so cool. I spent so much time freaking out about solar panels, wiring them in series or parallel. Because to charge a 48-volt battery, you have to have over 48 volts of electricity. I think the minimum's like 59 or something like that, or 61. But you really need like 90 or 80, somewhere around that area to charge. And to get that kind of that voltage, you have to wire them in series. And on a sailboat, you have a mast. So if the sun spins across, and the mast shadow goes across your solar panels, and you got them wired in series, boom. And no electricity, and it's sunny outside, and that's like a lot of people, I don't think they think about that, and they end up, having not a good time charging with their solar things. But the charge controller, I'll put like a thing link in there about it, but it's a really cool boost buck converter. It'll step up your power so you can run them in parallel, and shadows can run across your panels, and it won't affect your charging, So we're going to fully strip this boat of all of its original wiring, and thank God that we did, because I have found some stuff that's bad. Like there have been some melted wires just laying on each other, and I don't know how or bad. Like maybe they just shorted out completely. Who knows? But thank God we did this, because, the wires were bad.
We're rewiring the whole boat. Yeah. We're making it all electric. It's going to be a journey. We're super excited. We're going to go through it all with you guys. Let you know if we're happy, if we're unhappy, all the struggles that we have. So you guys subscribe. If you're new, like the video, comment, And you guys come along on this new journey with us.
You'll love it. It'll be great. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We love that.
Thanks, guys. We read all the comments, so don't forget to leave that comment.
Who knows? We might say something back.